Life, Love, and Lipstick.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Life, Love, and Lipstick with Lesley Stewart and Tracy Lynn. Good morning. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing very well, Tracy. How are you?
Good. You know, we are in another stay home order, lockdown. I don't know which one it is, but we're official now this week.
Yes, it's official.
Right.
And also they were making announcements that they were going to extend online learning for other kids in the province outside of Toronto that was already continuing. So that's not great news for parents, particularly if they're working from home as well. That always makes things difficult. So we're in the thick of it right now.
Difficult, very stressful. You know, but one of the fun things right now, because I know we are limited to what we could buy in a store, it has to be essential.
Yes.
I don't know who came up with that list of what is essential and what is not, but I ordered something online. And you know, when you order clothes, it's a hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, either it looks good or it looks completely opposite of what you saw.
Yes.
Well, this one in particular, I bought this new kimono.
I love it.
And I decided that today's show, I was going to bring out my inner Mrs. Roper.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if I belong on Dynasty or not. I don't know if you remember that show.
Oh, I remember Dynasty. I remember dancing to the theme song in my living room.
Yeah.
My parents.
I thought this would bring the theme out for today. I've updated, I've stepped up my loungewear for this lockdown.
No kidding.
Yes.
Now are you doing this off camera too? Are you walking around?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if I just like showed up at your house, which of course I'm not legally allowed to right now, but if I did, you'd look like this.
Yes, because I'm ordering another color, and I'm upping my loungewear for the new lockdown.
Cool.
I feel like I'm more sophisticated this time around. I'm going to let go of the track pants and bring in more floral because it's got big peacocks on it.
I love it. It's fantastic, but they're very in right now, so why not?
And the colors like our show, it's going to be very extra. So stick around. We're going to go to a quick break, and we're going to talk about some beauty trends.
Mm-hmm.
One in particular topic that it comes up multiple times, not only on our show, but just in real life. It's always about women talking about the way that they look or how they perceive themselves, and how there's always something to be said about a woman's appearance, unfortunately.
Yes.
Right. The aging process.
Right. Right. And we've talked about this in past shows as well, about the whole, surgery, Botox, fillers, all that kind of thing. But we've really never got into it, talking about specific people in Hollywood.
No. And then we talked just recently, there was an influencer from Chicago, Whitney, I believe her name was Whitney, and she had some Botox done.
Yes.
And like many people, you just get it done. You don't even think about it. She was getting it done for like 3 years.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, she woke up and her one eye was completely like distorted.
Drooped. Yeah, like drooped right down.
Yes, she looked surprised on one side because it was fully opened, and then this other eye was completely down. And she was really getting real about this because she went social about this, and it was completely like Botox gone wrong.
Yes. Now, apparently she went back to the doctor, and I guess she went to various doctors, but they said, oh, this can happen, right? Some people, I think some doctors give the warning because of the eye muscles, right? And others don't. So apparently there are a lot of people out there that get Botox that don't know this can happen.
Okay. I'm all for if you want to tweak yourself. Yeah. I don't judge anybody. I really think it's sad though, when you have a pretty beautiful woman and they don't realize how beautiful that they are, but they feel like they need to use the fillers and their face looks completely different than what they did before. But again, it's everybody's choice. But when you read the side effects, that's pretty scary because her eye is still trying to get back to.
Right. Because it settles in for a few months. Now, apparently you can take drops that's supposed to help relax that muscle, but you do have to kind of ride it out a little bit.
And it can last up to like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. Now, I guess what they did with her is they added a little bit more to try to balance it out, and it's kind of and it made it worse.
I know.
The other eye went even bigger, and this one yeah, the poor girl. I mean,
very scary. She's a very young female now. She hasn't even hit the aging process yet. Okay, no. She hasn't peaked at all. Yeah. And one actress in particular, Justine Bateman.
Yeah.
She is taking a lot of backlash because she wants to do the more natural approach and age gracefully and not use plastic surgery or Botox or any fillers.
Right.
I think it's sad. I mean, she looks amazing. She looks beautiful.
Yeah. She always has been beautiful. People have forgotten who she is. She's from Family Ties way back in the year, way back, and she's Jason Bateman's sister. And they're both attractive kids and grown adults now. She's older than him, right? So I think he's like late, maybe he's what, 50?
Yeah,
50?
she's about 55.
About 55.
Yeah.
And she's just said, I'm not going to go there. I just want to be natural. And people are like, oh, you look horrible. How could you let yourself go like that? And it's like, not fair.
Oh, and that scares me because we look at other actresses in the industry and they look flawless. Like we take Jennifer Aniston, for example.
Yes. Like perfectly flawless.
Yes. I mean, I've bought that Aveeno stuff. I don't I don't see Jennifer Aniston underneath there. Okay.
She's 52 now, right? Yeah. But she's had, how much work has she had done? I don't know. Like, I guess she doesn't speak about it, but
she doesn't know. But I mean, I'm looking at the picture right now of Justine Bateman. I mean, she looks great. You can tell it's her. Like she doesn't look bad.
No.
But she really is taking backlash because she wants to do this naturally. I think it's so sad.
I do too. Because again, when people are tweaking in their 20s and now you're 55, people are like, oh my gosh, they're almost offended by it.
Yes.
Not so unfair to the poor girl.
I know. But I mean, okay, let's be honest. I mean, I can say for myself, the whole getting older thing freaks me out because as I'm getting older, I'm noticing things. I've been very open on the show about, things happening with my face. I'm getting like those jowls happening. So like I'm constantly pushing my neck back.
It doesn't work, by the way.
It doesn't work. But in my mind, I feel like I'm exercising my face and making it go back. As a joke, I have gotten Scotch tape out.
Oh, I was going to say you could tape them.
Tape my face back, but then you got to peel it off. It doesn't really look well. But it is really sad and it scares me because I look at, my family. We have good genes, which is very that excites me. Okay, great. Maybe it's not going to be that bad, but nobody wants to get older looking.
The problem too is I think a lot of these doctors that deal with, medical facial face type treatments, they will find things on your face that you apparently have a problem and you didn't even know you had a problem. Like they'll say your temples are starting to go in or I've seen it in interviews and it's amazing. They will find stuff on your face. So if these people are highly exposed and they have people around them and then all of a sudden they'll say, look, I could fix you because you've got this, this, and this, and this, all of a sudden you've got like a serious, panic attack on your, right?
Like you can add a filter and I love when you add a filter and you look flawless and I'm like, wow, that looks great. But how do I achieve that? It is so unachievable.
No.
But I think it's sad. I mean, I'm looking at her picture and then the other part of me is, well, is she doing anything to her face? Is she putting any creams on? Because there has to be a magic cream out there that softens the lines.
But, and I know a lot of times they say it's also, as you mentioned, it's for sure genetics. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And it's also what you eat. I always believe it's, it is what you eat. And it's obviously hydration. Hydration is a big one. I always know, I know I'm dehydrated today. I can tell better days. And I know my one makeup artist I've dealt with, she will always say that they'll tell, brides, I think I mentioned before, a week before, 2 weeks before your wedding date, drink a ton of water because it'll just puff up and fill your skin. Right. Now, obviously sleep is a bad one too. Lack of.
I'm sure if I slept better and drank more water, I would probably look 30. A lot younger, but it's just, I like the antioxidant way. I like my red wine and I just don't sleep very well.
No.
And I think a lot of people right now aren't sleeping very well because
too much.
Look at what's going on in this world. And
the world is too much. Yeah, I agree. So let's move that over to J-Lo now.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's
right because she's part of this conversation too. So get this. So I think J-Lo is beautiful. She does look absolutely flawless. And I stare at her and I think, wow. So she's 51 now, I think. Yeah. And But apparently somebody attacked her on Instagram, and it was some kind of, influencer or something as well, that took her out and said, she's full of fillers and Botox and have had, all this. And JLo got upset, but didn't offend. And she just said, no, like, I haven't. And I'm kind of offended that you are suggesting that I'm lying here. Cause she claims she hasn't had any.
She dropped her new beauty skin line. Skincare, and I am all for this. I look at her and I think, wow, like she looks really good, because maybe she uses a filter, right? Like filters aren't new to this. Kardashians use it.
Right.
J-Lo's been known to use it. Use a filter or two or whichever. But yeah, she's saying, don't call me a liar. I haven't had any work done. And kudos to her if she has not had any work done. But I sure hope that if she did, at any time, she would admit it.
And I think that, you know what, she's probably knows that she'd be outed if she didn't. You know what I mean? Like,
but she might just pay them off.
Maybe.
Right? Signs of things saying, don't disclose what I'm getting done.
Maybe. I don't know. Because
she's a woman.
Her skin is like perfect.
Flawless.
Like look at her, and her skin tone is perfect. Like she's just, one thing that she mentioned here, I guess, to be positive, she said, my big beauty secret is that I try to be kind to others and lift up other women. So that was her response to this person that was attacking her.
I'm sorry, but I call that BS.
Yeah, I know.
I'm kind. I do too. Motivate women, but I still wake up with a line or two. And my lines in the middle here.
Yeah. Oh, that one. I know. I've got that too.
That one, the big W, we call that one.
Yeah.
But then again, I look at, okay, fine. You see women that have had work done versus women who have not had work done. And I look at some women who overdo it. When it comes to this, you don't know if they're angry. You don't know if they're happy because their face isn't moving. And I think, I want someone to know when I'm mad. I'm a very facial.
Yeah, me too. You and I are both like,
we're just like, what? Like, I want you to know I'm mad or I'm happy.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to specify your emotions.
Wow, I'm so happy. Like, I don't want to be like, I just don't. I don't want to be that way. But I mean, come on. I look at her and she is flawless. We're going to go back to Jennifer Lopez. She does. And she says she washes her face off or every night. Like she washes it before and after performances.
Yeah. That's important.
Like she launched her skincare line. And I hope that if I buy this, I'm going to have flawless looking skin.
I mean, it looks and sounds good, but I don't know. I don't think there's any magic in a bottle as much as
I just want them to be honest with us, because it comes to if you want me to support you in your business, then you better be honest with me and say if you had a little bit of work, because like I said, I've used the Aveeno. I don't see any Jennifer Aniston under there. She's not coming through.
Well, I have to tell you, with JLo's release of her new her skincare line, if something comes out at some point, all she's done is draw more attention to it now, right? Rather than just say, yeah, you know what, I have a little bit, but you still obviously have to take care of your skin and use proper skincare. Like you can't just leave it and shoot yourself up with Botox. Like
you still have to take care of your skin. Yeah. We both know that. It's like you can't just do your face and be like, oh, look at I'm going to look great forever.
Right.
And speaking of Jennifer Lopez, because she's been very quiet lately when it comes to making a headline. And she was very quiet after her supposedly breakup with A-Rod.
Yeah.
And then they're seen kissing each other. Then they're not kissing each other. But big question is, where is her ring?
The ring. Yeah. Where is that ring?
The ring. So after the break, we are going to talk about Jennifer Lopez, continue our conversation with us, because I feel like she is our spirit animal as well.
Yeah.
She's just fearless. She's confident. She's just, she's just very, very powerful. But I want to know what's going on with this ring. So stick around, guys. We're going to go to a quick break, come back and talk about rings. Welcome back to Life, Love, and Lipstick with Lesley Stewart and Tracy Lynn. And we're going to continue our conversation about J-Lo. Yes, Jennifer Lopez. She says she hasn't had any work done on her face. She's saying, everyone, please don't call her a liar. She's naturally aging. This is the natural age of her versus Justine Bateman, who isn't aging as gracefully, I guess you could say. I'll be honest, when I looked at Justine's face, it scared me.
Yes.
It did, because I don't want to age badly, right?
Right. But if you think about it, so JLo's 51, Justine Bateman's 55.
Mhm.
If they're both getting attacked, regardless. So one is saying, everybody's saying you should get work done to Justine Bateman, and to JLo, they're saying you did get work done and she's denying it. There's people who admit it. There's people who deny it. It doesn't matter what you do, people will get after you. That's the whole point here. It's a problem.
I know you can't win.
No,
As a female, you cannot win. And the sad part is you cannot win when your worst critic is another female.
Oh yeah. I mean, girls, I was hoping that our world was starting to turn a little bit. And, because I know you and I have the same feeling about lifting other women. And we like to have people on our show who lift women, like our sisterhood, as you say. Like, women are fantastic when we back each other. It is so much better. We are like out of this world, right?
Yeah. And it just, the whole vibe changes. But when you have one or two people, and I know, I get it. Like they say, when a person is down on you, or they're saying the stuff that's really hurtful, it's because of their own insecurity.
Absolutely.
Right. And it took me a long time to figure that one out.
Oh, but it's very, very true. It really is a reflection of them and how they feel about themselves.
Yes.
So yes.
So JLo, on the other hand, let's get away from her beautiful face.
Yes.
Let's look at her hands right now. People are saying, "Where's the ring?
Yeah.
Where's your engagement ring?" And I mean, this ring is worth $1.8 million. And it's missing. It's MIA. Yeah. And I believe it's the most expensive ring that she's received to date, because she has 6 rings?
Well, remember didn't she have that heart-shaped like pink one or something at one point, right?
Yeah. So she's like the female version of Tom Brady. Right?
Yeah.
She's a lot of rings, which I don't believe she's given back.
So that brings us to the question of, if anybody's out there that's been in an engagement, hasn't gone through with the marriage, do you give the ring back?
Yeah. So either you haven't gone through with the marriage, or your marriage or the engagement is off, or maybe you're getting a divorce. Where does the ring go? So we are both divorced.
Yes. Well, I'm still working on mine, but yes, almost there.
We've had rings.
Yes.
Not as many as JLo.
Right.
But when you
the value of JLo's.
Could you imagine $1.8 million?
We would be like swimming in the riches right now, because I would be selling that baby for sure.
I'd be wearing kimonos every day. I'd have one in every color.
Right. On a beach.
On a beach. Yeah. On my yacht.
Once we were allowed to get out of the lockdown. Yeah.
But yeah, $1.8 million.
Wow.
Ring is, not missing as in somebody stole it.
Right.
Missing as it's not on her hand. So question, what did you do with your rings? Did you give them back? Because I don't know what the rules are. I was always under the impression that if it was the person who gave it to you, male, then if they gave it to you and they broke it off, you don't give it back. You're not obligated to give it back. But if you received a ring and you broke it off, then you should be giving it back.
Now, and that's just while you're still engaged. We're not talking marriage right now. We're just talking, right.
Yes.
It
all depends on what the issue is as to why.
And also,
I don't want to be married to you. I don't want to be engaged to you anymore. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Then you should probably give these.
I think you should. I think if you decide, we don't want to be engaged anymore, you should give it back. But there's also the added, bonus. It's like sometimes men will give their mother's wedding ring or their grandmother's. And I think, out of respect, you give that back for sure, regardless of how it ended. That's a family heirloom, right?
Yeah. So if it has like a memory to it, if it is from a family member, obviously I think you should give it back, but I'm sure most of the time it doesn't get taken back. But what do you do when, say okay, we'll just go right into it. Okay. I had a set of rings, meaning a wedding band and an engagement ring.
Yeah.
I sold mine.
Good.
Thinking back, I was like, maybe I should have kept it for my daughter. But at the time, it didn't work out. I needed to sell it because I needed to pay hydro and do things. So
Yeah.
I sold it. And then I also bought a pair of shoes with some leftover.
Good for you. You know what? There are probably a lot of women listening right now saying, yeah, I sold it, or good for you, girl.
Yeah.
That's what yes.
Yeah. I bought a pair of high heels.
Good. You know what?
I don't know where they are
Separation.
right now.
Separation in divorce sucks.
Yeah.
It is one of the worst things you can go through. And you know what? It's a tough time, and depending on how things all fell, and I know how yours played out, and yep, you go, girl. Absolutely. I was going to sell mine, but my diamonds actually was wrapped in, like, it was one of those ones that set down in. Gotcha. Which is harder to, I guess, things can happen to it. And then I thought, so I just have it, and I have his too.
Perfect.
Because this is a big chunk of gold. I'm going to melt them down.
And gold is worth a lot right now. Whereas when I did mine, now that's going back 2010. Yeah. Gold wasn't worth very much. Right. So I didn't really get very much for it.
I know. I was waiting around till the value went up.
Yeah. It's like real estate. If you sell at the right time, you get a good chunk of your value back plus some. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people, though, they hold on to their rings and for sentimental reasons. I don't know why. Well, maybe they get back together. I don't know if they know if that's the type of relationship that they have, but
yeah, maybe. And maybe depending on how it ended, maybe they do want to save them for their kids. But like some, if it ended, unwell,
if it ended bad,
sour, then you know what? Like the kids don't probably want them anyway, because it's not like it was like this picture perfect marriage.
So I always think that people, they absorb energy and they absorb what is going on at that time.
Yes, I agree.
So I didn't want to pass on what was involved in those rings. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'm going to sell them. I'm
with you. No, that brings us also to the wedding dress, right? So you have your daughter, right? And like, would you want her wearing your wedding dress to her knowing that your marriage dissolved? Probably same thing.
No, I got rid of it. Actually,
Did you burn it?
I don't know where it is, to be honest with you. So I get very mad. I hold things in. Yeah. And like I'm a stamp collector. Once the card is full, then I kind of like explode. So when it was like divorce time, I was like, okay, the divorce, blah, 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 blah. I loaded his car with everything, like all the pictures, my wedding dress, everything from the wedding. I loaded his car and I was like,
dump it in the lake.
So I don't know. It could be it could be
it's at the bottom of Lake Ontario.
Either that or in a factory. It could have burned somewhere. Who knows?
Storage locker.
And then I realized like years later, I started to think about it going, oh, maybe I should have kept it. Maybe I should have kept it for my daughter. Or maybe I should just sold that too.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I still have mine.
Yeah.
Mine, just the way of the design of it. So I was married back in 2008. The design of it's still really like nice. It still kind of works. Right. So I thought at one point I'm just going to dye it black or something and I'll wear it to some event and no way am I ever putting that on my body ever again.
No.
So, I could wear it to my final like date of my like end of my divorce.
And that is very common. A lot of people
dye
do
black.
That, and then they do trash the dress.
Yeah.
After, and they take pictures of it.
Oh yeah. So girls have parties. So I actually, funny enough, we're having this conversation. I Googled it the other day because I'm going through stuff in my house and I need to get this dress out of my house. Maybe this will help my divorce end. So I looked up online how I could donate. I know it's tough to donate things right now because of the pandemic, but I was trying to find a place where I could do that. And then I found all these like girls who'll have these parties where they'll put their dresses on and all get together, obviously when we can.
Like the episode from Friends.
Yeah, exactly. The Friends episode. Yeah. So there's that too. People will do that. And then they're just like sit around and cut them all up with scissors.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I was able to do that. I think that would have been great, but no, I just got rid of it.
That's okay. Yeah. You know what? I'm at this point, I'm ready to honestly just dump it in a dumpster. Like I just want to get rid of it. Like, but I thought if I could help somebody that
posting on social to just say,
if
you're looking for a dress, I have a dress. This is what the specs are.
Yeah. Like it's really, was a beautiful designer and a beautiful dress. And it's a shame because I know there's some people who really, they want to get married and they can't afford a dress. So I would be happy to help them with that, but I don't necessarily want anyone to know it was mine, and I don't want to give them a bad omen.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's lots of ways that people will probably sage the dress or something before. That is a thing.
Sage the dress. Yes. Get rid of all the
trash it, sage it, or sell it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So let's now move ahead. If you were to get married again, would you invest in the dress, or would you do things like completely different?
I would definitely do things different than what I did the first time around.
Is there rules for us the second time around?
I think there was, but you know what? I'm seeing, they used to say where, it's supposed to be play it down and you're not supposed to wear white, because it was the whole Queen Victoria thing that the white dress came in, right? So you're only supposed to wear white the first time when you're technically a virgin. So
look how that turned out for us.
Right. So clearly we're not, we have kids, but, now I'm seeing more and more second weddings where the women are going for, and they're wearing their white because they want to, or they're off white, or their blush tones or whatever. I probably still go in that direction. Absolutely. And you know what? I'm not going to have a big soiree if I was to get remarried. Close friends, keep it small, but beautiful and wonderful, and focus on the things that are important for sure.
Yes. Cause I think the second time around, you realize where you should invest your money.
Yeah.
Pictures are great.
Yep.
Cake. Yeah. Whatever. You can have cake, but I want good food,
good wine, good company. And you know what? If you want to have a beautiful dress, you don't need to spend thousands.
I wouldn't go for the big dress again.
No, I definitely wouldn't do it. I would do more like very streamlined, simple, more, right? Like tone it down a little, but I definitely wouldn't go for a big puffy thing.
No, because
the Princess Diana thing.
Oh my gosh. Remember how you used the washroom?
Yeah, you can't fit.
Oh yeah. You had to bring your whole crew.
Right. Everybody help the bride. And
I'm pretty sure I dehydrated myself that day just so I didn't have to go.
For sure. And you know what? It was nice. We had that opportunity to wear that big princess dress, or whatever. Right. But it's different the second time around, wear whatever is important to you.
I think it's going to be very exciting to marry someone that I actually really love.
Me too.
Right? Because and I'm not saying, okay, because I don't want my kids or anyone saying, well, you didn't love the person you're married.
Yeah.
We were all, no matter when you got married, if you're married now or you're divorced, at some point you were in love, but I was very young.
Yeah.
And didn't understand what it was to be in love and didn't understand what it was like to be loved.
Yes.
And when you get married young, I feel like things change a lot, right?
Absolutely.
So, just love is very different this time around.
Well, and you know what comes with it too is maturity and experience. And as much as sometimes we would like to go back and erase certain things in our lives, it does have an impact on everything moving forward. So we did have to go through what we went through to understand. I don't feel that I needed to be burned in my marriage to appreciate a great man, because I know I'm wired to appreciate a great man regardless.
Yeah,
I definitely know that. I think some people feel, they have said, oh, I'm because I went through that, I'm understand now. I knew now I know what a good man was, but I didn't see it in him. I wasn't seeing it.
Because you don't see the red flags. And I'm not going to say second time, third time, fourth time around, if you multiple relationships that you see the red flags.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't. You just don't see them.
No, you don't.
Because you just want to believe that someone is meant to love you. Someone is meant to be with you.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, sometimes when you do meet up with that person, you both come from past experiences where you constantly think, well, this person's going to do the same thing that the other one did. And then the guy is going to say, well, women, you're all the same.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You have all these, like, both sides, which makes it very difficult, because you're like, and then you add some kids in there, and then there's the whole blended thing. And behind every man behind every person, there is a crazy ex-wife.
Yes.
A lot of things that are involved.
Yes. And that it does. add up to it, right? But I think one thing, as much as people can be, cheated on, and you have to be fair to the next person and go in because they haven't cheated on you yet. So you have to go in and with a clean slate. And, obviously you're smart now, you're smarter now, and you're more aware.
I like to think we're smarter now.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think my eyes are more open, I'm more aware, but it's only fair to let that person have a chance without, blaming them for your past, if you were hurt because of infidelity or whatever, right? Or whatever it may be. So
I do look forward to a possible second wedding. Maybe, who knows? We'll see how the future pans out. And I think I know that this time I will serve pizza at my wedding. I don't care what anybody thinks.
Pizza and wine.
Wine. Yeah. That would probably be the theme of my wedding.
Why not? And you know what? Laid back and fun. And with the people that really matter, I know a lot of people have hundreds of people at their weddings, and it's like your third cousin removed is there and you never see them again.
And I'll never do a receiving line again.
No, I didn't do one actually.
Oh, I did.
You did, eh? Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Oh, hi. Who are you?
Awkward weirdness.
Yeah. Like, sorry, I didn't know you were on the list. How'd you get in here?
Right. Yeah. Or I left my aunt off the seating list. Somehow. My aunt, of all people, I left my aunt. And that didn't go over well. I mean, how many times did I look at that thing and I missed, so it's like all the stresses that come with that massive party. You know what? Second time around, real love.
Yes. And it could be second, third, fourth, fifth, whoever. You could be Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But she still found a way to be like J-Lo and collect her rings and live a good life. And I wonder if we will find that ring again on J-Lo. But in the meantime, stick around. We're going to go to a quick break and we'll be right back on Life, Love, and Lipstick. Well, Lesley, that was pretty informative. We both are on the same wavelength when it comes to rings.
Yes. Yes. Leaving our past behind us and looking forward to hopefully some really fantastic future.
Yes. And it's not that we're sending out any save the dates anytime soon, but... No.
And we're not marrying one another. We're just saying we both hope.
I think your inner girl comes out and you become hopeful and you're like, oh my gosh, like you can't help but look at social media and see what people are doing these days when it comes to weddings. And I'm like, oh, I love it. Screenshot, love it. Bank it. Yep.
Oh, okay. And in my town, they opened up this new bridal shop. It's the most beautiful thing. And I'm drive by and I'm like, I need to pull over and just take a picture of that dress in the window. Cause I can't stop looking at them in the window. So I'm like, I know there's
yeah, it's like baby fever.
It's the same thing. It is
the same thing. We're standing out there going like with our dresses on, full veil, everything, and just waiting at the altar.
What? It's such very. I want to do this again. It is fun. You're right, though. It is such a kind of a girly, feminine thing, right?
It is, and I think you get to a certain age and you appreciate it more.
Yeah,
right? You're wiser and this and whatever, and it almost seems like this conversation is making me laugh because we've said multiple times it's like real girlfriends that keep talking, and it reminds me of Friends. The series Friends, right?
Yes,
especially when they sit around with the wedding dresses on Valentine's Day.
Amazing.
With their beer.
Yes, I love that episode. If at any given time, if I just turn on the TV and you know how they just run Friends back to back to back, I just jump in on any show at any time because I just love that show so much. I actually had a party at my house when they wrapped up the show, and I had a bunch of girlfriends, teammates over, everybody, just because I never really tied myself to many shows, but that one I did.
Yes, because that was on Thursday nights. Beverly Hills 90210 was on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think Friends was back to back with Melrose Place.
I think you're right about that. Yeah, I think so.
And then Party of Five, they kind of fit in there. So here's a fun fact. So my daughter is named Emma, Ross and Rachel's baby.
Yes.
That's what she's named after.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. And Owen is Party of Five, baby.
Oh my gosh, Tracy.
Yeah, I wish. It's true. So when
they know this?
You can, oh yeah, when kids get their thing from school and it says, tell me about your name.
Yeah.
Where did your parents come up with your name?
Oh.
And there's Emma. Well, I was named after Ross and Rachel's baby from Friends.
Oh my gosh. They're like, yeah, well, we know your mom and what era she grew up in.
So are you looking forward to this reunion that they have coming up? Because they just wrapped it up.
Yes. You know what? I absolutely am. And I have a really good friend as well, who's just so into Friends. She's only in her 30s. So she was kind of like the younger end of it, right? Of people watching, but there's a lot of the younger generations watching Friends now too, loving it, right? For the first time around. But absolutely excited about this to see because all the actors involved, they're going to make sure that this is done well.
Yes. I mean, I've watched it multiple times since that last episode.
Me too.
And I've actually, as I've gotten older, I understand it more.
Yes.
Some of the stuff that's happened.
Yes.
I just get it now, right? Whereas I was a teenager. I was kind of like, I got it, but not really. But I still laughed because it was funny and I love the characters. But this is a reunion. It's not, this is where it's bittersweet for me. I honestly really don't even care what they've been up to lately because we can follow them on social.
Yeah.
What I want to know, I want to pick up from what that last episode, like what's going on with Ross and Rachel. Did they ever get married? What happened with Chandler and Monica and Joey and Phoebe?
I know I kind of wish that they could have really picked it up properly and kind of just played it out for us for like a season or something. I don't know.
Like a 2-hour movie.
Just, yeah, exactly. And then just really, because I'm like you, I kind of would like to go back into that feel good time of them.
Yes. And I'm not sure if I'll ever get back to the Rachel haircut because that's what I was rocking through at my high school.
Yeah.
That layered, I don't even know.
That was a good haircut though.
If you got it done right.
If you got it done right. If you didn't, then no, it was
like a mullet.
Very bad.
And I've had multiple bad haircuts trying to that look.
Right. Well, just because if you overlayered it and then you didn't know how to do it properly in the cool, like the brushed roll and the flippy.
Yes.
You're done.
And she always looked great. And then you have Courtney Cox, who played Monica. She's on social media. I follow her on Instagram and she was just
Me too.
She was baking chicken parm the other day.
Oh yeah, she's funny when she cooks.
Yes, I think but she's another person because she played in another series called Cougar Town.
Oh yes, Cougar Town. Yeah, that's right.
Watched it, but what happened to her? She filled her face.
Okay, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, so she's another one.
It's too much, right? I mean, I hate to be opinionated about it, but we are having an open discussion. But I do feel that she went too far because she's a beautiful girl.
Absolutely stunning. And it goes back to how many women get it done that don't even need it done. And listen, I can look at myself in the mirror and we're our worst critic because I'll be like, oh, I need this done. Oh, man, I got a bit of a roll here when I'm sitting. Well, everyone has a roll when they sit, or when my eyes look really tired. And like you said, if I just drank some more water, I probably wouldn't look so dehydrated. But she, on the other hand, filled her face. And for the longest time, you couldn't even see her face move, nothing, that she ended up, and she went public with taking them all out.
Oh, she did. So I missed that. So because apparently if you do it a lot and then you take it out, it actually almost makes it worse.
Yes, I know.
Right? Because your muscles have been holding and lifting up and everything, however it works.
And your skin kind of stretches when you put the filler in, right?
Yes.
And we don't want our skin to stretch. We want it to like go back. As I've said multiple times, I'll tape my face back if I have to.
Cut around the outside and pull it.
Could you imagine? That would be so simple, just to wake up and put the mask on. I know we talk about unmasking all the time, but this one in particular, I just want to like put my mask on and
get a little strap behind and just pull it, tighten it all up back there like a corset.
Can you imagine like a face corset?
We just invented something.
I think maybe we should trademark that right away.
Hide it under your hair.
Yeah. Well, even if your hair's real or not, we just put a hook right there.
There, that's what I'm
Right?
talking about. I know. I just, I understand the pressures. Well, actually, probably can't even barely understand the pressures that they have in, for roles and that in Hollywood and we were talking about Jennifer Aniston earlier, and if she's had some or not. We know that I call her Monica, but that
No,
she.
we never use the real names.
I know. But that she's older, like she's what, 5 years older than her or something, or 4 or 5, somewhere in there. But that whole cast ranges right through their 50s to almost 60 years old, I guess, right at this point.
Yes. It's just like Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah.
You get 20, 30-year-olds in like late 20s, mid 20s to 30-year-olds playing high school students.
Right.
Right.
Yep. And then you see them years later and you're like, well, they were like way older.
How are you 60 right now, Andrea Zuckerman?
Right.
Like,
right.
She was the oldest one.
That's right. But she should have not have been in high school at that point.
No, so she played very well at playing a high school student.
She did. And when you're younger, you believe it because everybody in high school looks old. So you kind of just fall for it. It's like in Grease, it's like Happy Days. You fall for all those characters that they're really like almost 30, but you believe they're teenagers.
And then when you're younger, you want to look older.
Yeah.
And then we're older and we want to look younger. I don't necessarily want to look younger. No. I just want to look, I wish I appreciated, I'm at that stage in my life where I wish I appreciated what I looked like before and wasn't so hard on myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Wouldn't mind just, there's some things I just don't like about myself. And if you do go to someone, sometimes they tell you things that you didn't even know is wrong with you.
Yeah, that's a problem right there. Like I remember at 25 thinking I could see like little bit, some lines in my forehead. Right. And I remember like worrying about that. Oh, I wish I had those now.
I know. I have multiple
baby lines.
Yes. Sometimes I look at the camera and I feel like I need to be like looking up. Like,
yeah. The neck thing is a problem. I think it's inevitable pretty much for all women. But I remember my sister-in-law, who's 10 years older than me, she said, make sure, especially I'm like a British descent, so my skin is super sensitive and I can burn. She's make sure you always protect your neck and put sunscreen on and all that. And so,
And they say that you can always tell women usually forget that it's not only their face they need to take care of, it's their neck, their chest, and their hands. Yes. Have you seen that where their face looks flawless? They look great. Yeah. But then their neck and their chest looks a little off. And then you see their hands and their hands are just
because you can get a lot of age spots, right? So, I find the whole thing like sitting in a car, I'm all about the sunscreen every day now. It took me a while to get to that because I couldn't find one that I liked that didn't make my face look like a grease ball, but now I found them. But I do believe in the daily sunscreen and I put it on my hands now too, because if you get all those like age spots on your hands, or that side window where you're driving, like it does really age you quickly. Sun is a problem that way.
Yes, and the sun does age you quickly.
Yeah.
Even direct sun or tanning beds or whichever you're going into. Yeah, I noticed that because it's always nice to have a dewy look and look tanned.
Yeah,
but for myself, I will go more of the natural sunless tans.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm more about that now than anything. I remember as a teenager, did you do the tan beds when you were younger?
Yes.
Of course,
I did do the tan beds. And you know what? It takes 18 to 20 years before it affects you. And it affected me because you can't really tell, but if you can see the indent in my arm right there, not really right there.
Yeah.
I had a little tiny mole. A little tiny mole I noticed one day and it got bigger and bigger and I ended up having to go and see a specialist and I caught it just in time. From tanning beds.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's the thing. So those things definitely are scary, but you know what? There's so many great spray tans out there that are very natural right now that can just, we can all kind of look like J-Lo because her skin tone is perfect.
I know. And I don't know how I would lie there for that long. I don't have the attention span to do it either with the oil on me. But I would go to the tanning beds like multiple times. If you use them, that's great. You can, buyer beware if that's what you love. I love them. I went there for like 20 years.
Yeah.
But it caught up to me. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I caught the first spot. I had a couple other spots, but it's still an emotional thing to talk about. But
Sure it is. But you know what, the awareness for people to really look at their skin and make sure that they're staying on top of those spots. My dad actually, I mean, obviously he's much older, but he was an athlete. He was a police officer. He was out in the sun a lot. He's had quite a few spots removed on his face now. So I know that he's susceptible, and they were cancerous. And so now I see, like, I have a lot of similarities to my dad. So it makes me aware. And I think it's good to be, it's that silent killer, right? So it's a very good conversation. I know of young people in their 20s who have had it. So yeah, it's definitely a good conversation.
When it starts to hit your face, I know I have a few on my face, but I cover it up. I mean, I don't want my face dug into, so I've kind of left that alone. But it's always nice to get a nice glowy look. And wow, what a show we've had today. It just flew by.
Yeah, we covered a lot.
No, we always do. My thighs are feeling a little bit better, as I said.
Yeah, you've been doing your home workouts. You started, good girl.
Yeah, my legs are on fire.
Okay, but that means they're building and getting stronger.
Yes, and if
home workouts,
I would still be wearing my kimono while I'm working out.
Oh, right, of course. Right, with your martini on the side.
Why not? Right. I want to be extra this lockdown. That is my theme. I'm going to be extra.
I love it. You know what? We're in multiple lockdowns at this point. This hopefully is the last cry.
Yes, let's hope.
Live it large.
Yes, and I plan on it. Well, I hope that you have a great day and the great rest of the week.
You too.
Yeah. So if you guys want to catch up on all our podcasts or our radio shows, you can hit us up on Instagram or any of the podcast sites. And I guess we'll just see you next week.
Yeah, cheers to everyone.
Life, love, and lipstick.